I know he can look pretty good when he comes to Missouri. He comes in, he puts on a plaid shirt, you know, gets in his rented pickup truck, he drives around, saying he's looking out for us. The trouble is, his 14-year career in Washington and his record tells a really different story than that. And so when I hear the congressman come out here to Missouri and say one thing and then fly back to Washington and vote a different way, guess what I call that? I call it bull.
That's right.
You should too. So I want to give you a couple of examples about this. Number one, Congressman Blunt likes to say he's working for Missouri families. Trouble is, he fought to deregulate the banks. He then bailed them out when they ran hog wild to the tune of $700 billion of our money. He didn't just do that, he twisted arms to get other people to bail him out as well. I call that bull. And Congressman Blunt, you might not know this, he sits on the Energy and Commerce Committee. That's the committee that oversees the oil companies. It's supposed to investigate what went wrong in the Gulf. Trouble is, he's one of the top 10 recipients of all time of BP money in Congress. He's taken over $1 million from oil and gas interests, and of all the people on that committee, he's taken more money from these oil and gas interests than any other member of the committee. So it shouldn't be a big surprise that he stood every step of the way on the side of the big oil companies. And you know, just recently, after the oil spill happened in the Gulf, Congressman Blunt, he cautioned against, you know, overreacting because accidents happen. And the day before, you'll be interested to know that he took a campaign contribution from Halliburton, one of the companies that's under investigation. So do you really think this is somebody who's going to be looking out for our best interests when it comes to investigating what happened down in the Gulf? I say it's bull. Now, I got a couple more of these, so hang in there with me. Congressman Blunt, you know, he says he's looking out for us in his 14 years in Washington. So I ask this question: why is it you've taken more money, listen to this, more money from lobbyists than any other member of Congress? There are 535 members of Congress. USA Today says Congressman Blunt has taken more campaign contributions from them than anybody else. Do you think that's a coincidence? Or do you think that's bull? Bull. It's bull. Now, I know this list is kind of getting long, but let me just hang in there. There's one more thing. Now, lobbyists aren't the only way these big corporate special interests try to influence politicians. The other way is through PAC contributions. And I'll tell you, that's another chart that Congressman Blunt comes in at the top. So when it comes to PAC contributions, he's the #2 recipient in the entire House of Representatives in PAC contributions. This is the other way. Lobbyists and PAC contributions, that's how these big interests influence congressmen. And Congressman Blunt is at the top of those lists. I think it's bull. So there are all kinds of differences between us, and the choices in this election are going to be very, very clear when it comes to whose side we're going to be on. Congressman Blunt is for bailouts. I am not. He's for corporate special interest giveaways. I am not. He's for continuing what I think are the very worst ways of Washington, and I'm not. So what I'll do in the United States Senate is what I have always done here in Missouri, and that's put middle-class families, people like Norma and her husband, first when it comes to fights against the big special interests. And you can bet that that's what I'll do in Washington. Because I know we can fix what's broken there, but we can't do it if we send the same old people out there to do the same old things. So I appreciate y'all being here today. I'd encourage you to read more about my plan. It's on our website, robincarnahan.com. And with your help, we really can start putting the middle class first. So thank you all.